This week on Beacon Web News, I spoke with Catherine Holbrook and Gina on how this semester went and what is to come next semester. Beacon Sports Editor Kyle Milligan reported on MASCAC canceling the winter sports season. That's all coming up next on Beacon Web News. Hello and welcome to the November 18th episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Kehr. Spires is hosting a fall contest where they are accepting poetry, prose, art, and more. Just send it to spires@mcla.edu. Submissions are due by November 30th. If you have any questions, email dy0092@mcla.edu. The MCLA Fitness Center closed for the rest of the semester on Monday, November 16th at 4 p.m. due to a rise in COVID cases in Massachusetts. According to an email sent by Catherine Holbrook on the same day, the current positivity rate in the state of Massachusetts is at 3.06%. The email stated that a recent study from Stanford University showed that fitness centers have been identified as one of the few locations that support the spread of COVID. The annual Elizabeth and Lawrence Vadnais Environmental Issues Lecture Series will be happening at 4 p.m. on Thursday, November 19th. This year's speaker is Arctic ecologist Susan Natalie of the Woodwell Climate Research Center. The event is free and open to the public. To register for a spot, go to bit.ly/Vadnais MCLA. With the fall semester coming to an end, Vice President of Strategic Initiatives Gina and Vice President of Student Affairs Catherine Holbrook were on a Microsoft Teams meeting with Editor-in-Chief of the Beacon, Brian Rhodes, and I to discuss how the fall semester went and what is to come for the spring semester.
There were a few different meetings it landed on, and there was agreement that a full-blown spring break just didn't make sense, both from a testing and travel perspective, but also from just sort of an academic calendar perspective around classroom needs, student needs, faculty needs, all of that. Everyone, I think, got to a point in agreement where they wanted to maintain some semblance of like a health and wellness perspective, allowing a little bit more time for everyone to breathe. So that's why the fourth day was added on to the President's Day weekend. So there's 2 long weekends in the spring, which we accounted for, President's Day and Patriots Day. Undergraduate research is still a day that's on the calendar, and we are starting about a week later. So we'll be starting on the Tuesday after MLK weekend. I think that's the 26th of January.
We tweaked the testing a little bit so that we are going to instead of testing residents 4 times at the beginning, we're going to test them 3 times. Move in the next week and the week after. That is sufficient to be sure that nobody came here with anything. Mm-hmm. After that, we're going to test every other week. Everybody gets tested every other week. So instead of 25% randomly every week, it will be 50% in week A, the next 50% in week B, then back to week A. So you'll all have a much better handle on when you're going to get tested. There'll be less random. We're going to do more testing for commuters. We're going to test every commuter initially. It'll be mandatory for all commuters in the beginning, and then after that, once a month.
We started planning for this semester back in April or May of last year. We assembled a team of faculty and staff. Students were involved from the SGA perspective, and we developed a plan for the fall semester, and we've actually met that plan and seen that plan through. The academic calendar stayed the same, residence halls stayed open to when we anticipated, and so I think looking back on it, we've kept our community as safe as possible. We've had a very low rate of transmission that was always trending well below the state, and almost every week, I think, below both North Adams, both Pittsfield, sort of our comparators. And so I would say we're overwhelmingly grateful for everyone's participation sort of in agreeing to guidelines, policies, things like that. And I think it's a testament to our students first and foremost, who have kept us all safe, and faculty and staff. And that, again, is sort of another positive around this, that we were able to come together as a campus community.
And now from the Beacon. Gallery 51 is hosting its first virtual alumni art show from Wednesday, November 18th through Friday, December 11th. Associate Professor of Political Science Samantha Petty discusses the impact of the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris Democratic ticket getting elected to office come January 20th, 2021. Senator-at-Large Caitlin Young was unanimously voted for the role of Senate Secretary for the 2020 to 2021 academic year. You can check out these and other stories from the Beacon at theonlinebeacon.com or pick up a copy all over campus. Beacon Sports Editor Kyle Milligan reported on how the MASCAC canceled all winter sports this season.
The MASCAC released a statement Friday morning announcing the cancellation of winter sports. MCLA men's basketball and women's basketball are the two teams affected. Here's MCLA Athletic Director Laura Mooney and men's basketball player Dylan Morris-Gray on the decision made.
Making the decision official has kind of always been based around the safety for the campus community, ours and the others in the MASCAC, since this decision is made by the MASCAC Council of Presidents in conjunction with the MASCAC ADs and athletic training staff. So really, I mean, it's just the ever-changing pandemic and trying to do what is safe for everybody.
In the beginning of the year, I kind of always thought we were going to have a season, but like with how things are going now, I kind of understand like their decision to cancel it. Although I kind of wish they waited like a little bit longer until like January or February to make the decision. And
overall, everyone's disappointed. It is really disappointing, especially for our seniors who maybe won't come back or won't have the opportunity to come back. Maybe they already have jobs lined up or internships. But I think a lot of people also felt that it was a strong possibility, especially when other conferences start to announce. I think everyone starts to be like, oh, who's next? When's it going to happen? So unfortunately, it's obviously not the outcome that we wanted, but it's the safest option.
Men's basketball player Steven Cardellano was asked about the possibility of players using their extra year of eligibility. Here's what he had to say.
I've talked to a bunch of guys on my team, and I know that they're definitely interested in doing that, especially the guys that are later in their career and they're seniors and juniors this year. It's not something that I've thought about yet because I'm only going into my rookie year, so that's a decision that I'll probably make going down the road in a couple of years, so I haven't really thought about that yet.
Mooney also touched on the possibility of winter sport athletes going fully remote in the spring semester instead of being on campus.
Maybe some of the, for us, we obviously only have basketballs as a winter sport, so it might it allows some basketball players to maybe go remote and to still focus on their academics since they won't be able to compete. But I think by and by most of them will come back and still want to be part of the team and attend practices, since that is currently the hope for what those programs will be doing. Keep working, keep fighting for it. Obviously we're going to try to get our teams out there competing as long as it's safe. But staying on top of your academics is number one. You're a student athlete. We obviously want all our student athletes to reach a 3.0 if possible. Academics comes first as far as, making sure you're making progress towards degree. So that's key for us. And just, being healthy, getting out there, working out, whether it be on your own, going for a run outside, hitting the new fitness center, the track, just pushing yourself to be able to be the best that you can be when we have the opportunity to get back out there.
We just got to keep our hopes up that there's going to be a season next year and do what we can do now, control what we can control now to make sure that we'll be as ready as possible for that. So we just got to take care of business for now this year, make sure that we continue to do well in school. If anybody needs to, take their semester off in the spring, and then we'll be ready to go in the fall, hopefully, and hit the ground running.
I really just focus on getting better every day and continuing to work as hard as I would if we were preparing for a season, because it's going to come again at some point, and I just want to be as prepared as I can for my team, try and win a championship here.
Although winter competitions were canceled, the Trailblazers look to stay focused and work hard in the classroom and on the court to assure success next season. For the Beacon and Beacon Web News, I'm Kyle Milligan.
With the end of the shortened on-campus semester fast approaching, students will be moving out soon. Student move-out will be by appointment from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. starting Wednesday, November 18th. Students are expected to move out of the residential areas completely by Tuesday, November 24th, and keys must be turned in. Move-out time slots are limited to 2 hours, and students may only have one helper. If students have any questions, send an email to rps@mcla.edu. That's it for this week. To stay up to date with BWN, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/MCLA BWN. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next semester.